Greetings, fellow Shek. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Kenshi Shek's Conquest, Episode 32, What Makes a Good Home. Hallie, is there something you could be doing? Let's process more stone. Because we grabbed so many building materials, and I'm probably going to need even more than I have. We could always go to way stations to try to buy them, but I think it would be kind of ideal for us to source it ourselves. And then I did mention I'm going to need someone to do some food shopping, so sharp point. I'm going to just arbitrarily pick you. So some of our 42,000, 43,000 cats are going to go to food. I might not even do that yet. I'll just grab some of the food out of the bin up top. Bring it down below. Well, probably in a short period of time, we're going to need to make a run out to the high village. Wow, they ate all of that. Alright, let's do that. Sharp point, do not end up like Blizz. That's all I ask. When the big things come a-chomping, just run. So I'll be babysitting Sharp Point, because I think the other group is in Blood Spider territory, but I don't foresee that they run into one. Let's hope. I discovered rot. And that is probably a nasty nest of something terrible. So here's rot in the swamp. Alright, Sharp Point's very close to the high village already, so I think you should be fine. And we're going to be running over to the general tent. All right, we'll buy their dried fish, filling our inventory literally topped up full of fish, and then bringing this fish home to share. He is 6 miles an hour slower. Hey, Ron, 2 full years. Thank you. So Sharp Point is bringing these fish over, and I just have to be careful because he's slower. It costs a lot, so I cannot wait until I'm able to source my own food more regularly and not have to spend money feeding my army. Oh, goats. Yeah, they're not going to fight me. Goats are, you might think they're easy enemies. If you're brand new to Kenshi, like if you have a level 0 person, goats are going to mess you up. They're good to grind for toughness, though. That much is true. Alright, Sharp Point, I want you to haul to food storage so that you empty out your inventory automatically. Thank you. Rather than me do it piecemeal. No pun intended. Engineer Squad, how are you doing? You're just standing around, aren't you? Yes, you are. So, what is this, a bandit? Dust bandit group here? Can't even tell. Every now and then when you mouse over it, it will... I don't even know. I don't see any camp beds or anything like that. Can you fish in Kenshi? Only with mods. Which is interesting that the hivers always have so many fish, but they don't tell you how to do it. Goats will mess you up in real life too? Yeah, they would. They like to headbutt and charge, and they have thick skulls, so they're really good at it. So I like this neck of the woods. This is a mix of Shem and Swamp. And just north of the Burning Forest. And we'll be settling somewhere around here. Now there's a few things to consider prior to settling. And I'll show you that in just a minute. More puppy treats. So the first consideration to make would be not to interrupt roads. So I think that's going to be easier shown here in the hub. So I'm going to keep it paused for a second. Shift F12 brings up some dev tools, or whatever you're going to call it, here at the top. And then you can go to Nav Mesh Tools and Roads, and it shows you all of the roads in Kenshi. Building on these roads is bad, because it will screw up pathing and the like. So don't build on roads. And here, as you can see, I did basically just that. I cut this mining outpost that cuts through this road here, and I'm sure it's been messing with the pathfinding. And because this road here doesn't really head towards my mining outpost, it's why people leaving hub have been traveling such a weird zigzaggy nonsense to get back. Also, as you can see, this road here makes no sense at all. One of the ways to sort of fix roads is Control-Shift F12, or F11 rather, which rebuilds the nav mesh. But it seems like the nav mesh right now. You can also do it in here, which is, I think it's Validate Road Network, but I'm not going to go clicking because I don't want to screw something up right now. So, like I said, one of the considerations is don't build on a road. So where I want to build a base is around here. The advantage of this spot is that it straddles two biomes. The swamp biome has a lot of water and can support swamp crops very, very well. And then the Shem here, well, here, I'll prospect so you can actually see it. So Shem here can support arid at 100%. And then if we go like 100 feet this way, it will be swamp. Not yet. It will be swamp soon. There we are. Now we're in the swamp, and it can support arid and swamp. So the considerations to make for settling a permanent base is proximity to a road, because being near a road is going to be really helpful when you're trying to travel. Because traveling over long distances, people like to use the roads. So build near a road, but don't block it. You're also going to want to find somewhere with decent fertility. So here is Rockfin surveying. You have a water map where green is good. Fertility map, green is good. Stone. So stone is when you have the stone mines for building materials. And most cities require a finite amount of building materials, so you can always import it if you need to. But it is very, very helpful to be able to source it within your own base. And then more importantly would be copper. The reason why iron is not important is eventually you can have mines, like ore mining drills that mine iron, but you can never mine copper with a mining drill. So having iron nodes near your base is helpful before you get the ore mining drill. But late game, it's not needed because you can just mine your own iron out of drills. But copper is different. So you're going to want somewhere with some copper nodes. So here you can see I have a copper node right there, which is just a single worker node, and then some copper nodes over here. Those are probably the resources that you're going to want settling. You're going to want iron, copper, water, fertility, all that kind of stuff. And then you can also consider trade proximity. So this spot here is just up the road from Shark, pretty close to the settled nomads, pretty close to a way station. So there's a lot of trade opportunity, and there's some other things over here that it could trade to as well. And then also the proximity to your goals. So this here is not that far from Squin when we're fighting a war with the Shek Kingdom, and also not that far from Bad Teeth. It is pretty close. It's sort of equidistant to all three, and that way we're not just some far-flung island. Because if we're trying to fight the Holy Nation and we're trying to fight the Shek Kingdom, living, let's say, in the Forbidden Isle, or living in the Great Desert, or living in the Leviathan Coast, yeah, that's just so far from where our goals are that it doesn't make much sense. So those are all the considerations that I would make when trying to settle. The last consideration would be, what is the fauna? You know, what kind of creatures are going to have to fight, because you don't want to settle somewhere that is too difficult for you. So in this spot, there are beak things, but they don't tend to be too many. There are other areas on the map where the beak things are a lot worse, or other creatures are a lot worse. Like any veteran Kenshi player would be like, oh, I want to settle in the middle of a rock. Yeah, don't do that, because if you're new, you're just going to be dead. That's a terrible, terrible, terrible place to settle. Or, you know, oh, this area of the world looks real good. How about I make my base right here? Yeah, that's completely suicide and ridiculous. So make sure that the average patrols that you're going to face and the animals that live in that map tile are something you can handle. And then when you want to start, there are some other considerations to make as well. So I'm going to want to save, I'm just going to call this temp, just so that I can demonstrate something. So one of the maybe frustrating parts of Kenshi is that you cannot, unlike the way the cities are built, and let me demo that real quick, unlike the way the cities are built, where you have walls built into buildings, players aren't allowed to do that. Walls have to surround buildings. They can't be built into the buildings without mods. So here you can see there's a station house, the snail house we live in, and this Shinobi Thieves Tower that's built into the walls, but that is simply not possible for vanilla Kenshi without mods. So when you're laying out your base, you're going to want to lay out the walls, and walls are actually very fussy to lay out. So we're not going to want walls to cross over or even get all that close to this road, because it will get bugged out. And then when you want to lay out the walls, you also have to figure out, you know, where you want your gates. So I think what I'm going to do is, if we take a look at the road map again for roads, I'm probably going to put my gate somewhere around here. One of the considerations to make when putting a gate down is when you have mounted crossbows, you gain an advantage when you're shooting down on an enemy the higher up you are. So setting yourself up in a situation where you have a really good overwatch over your entry gate is going to be a really, really, really good advantage. So this sort of hill berm here, I'm going to use to protect myself by not necessarily initially, but eventually setting up watchtowers with crossbows that look down upon the entry gate to keep it better protected, because watchtowers are one of the tallest buildings that you can build. And then that means that if I have a gate in a low-lying area, like here, it will just be a lot easier to protect. So the first thing that we can build is probably a gate. I also have a mod enabled right now called Slopeless. So plus and minus on your keyboard here raises and lowers in terms of clipping. And then the comma and period rotates it. And then the brackets do the sort of slope angle. And that way you can get things that look flat. If you're a perfectionist, wall building in Kenshi is going to probably super piss you off. I'm just going to say it like it is, because trying to get something that looks good is very, very challenging. And then the game informs you, but you want to point the blue arrow towards the enemy. Like that. So if this is my gate, then I'm going to want defensive walls. Now, the other thing to note is that the walls that I have right now are not the best walls that exist in Kenshi. These are like the just above the starting walls, because I haven't unlocked better walls. So there's makeshift walls here that are like barely bandit walls. And the makeshift walls, the disadvantage of the makeshift wall, if you can't tell, I know it's hard to tell because it doesn't have texture, you can't stand on them. Whereas the next tier wall, the defensive walls, you can stand on them, and that way we can put crossbows on the wall, additional crossbows on the wall to fire down on enemies. Now, another thing to think about is to have sort of an entry gauntlet, if you will, where you set yourself up so that would-be enemies have to come into sort of a kill box design. And so if I have an enemy army trying to invade my base here, and they're all standing here, and I have crossbows along these walls, we can all sort of shoot down into whoever's incoming, which is a very, very powerful tool to use. And then, like I said before, eventually setting up watchtowers with even better, angles of shots to rain holy hell down on anyone that's trying to bash in our gates. There are other methods that you can employ that are a little exploity, but I'm going to explain them anyway. If you have your entryway submerged in water, your enemies, except for skeletons, are essentially totally defenseless. You can't fight when you're in the water, but you can be shot by harpoons. So you'll see some of the designs that people make for Kenshi defenses incorporate a river entryway or something like that, which obviously I could do given the amount of water that's around here, but I don't want to do that. I just don't feel it's necessary. But you could do that. And of course, the advantage of that would be any army that is coming in will have no opportunity to fight back. Because in this situation, an enemy army, and swimming obviously makes you a lot slower, which then you're basically a sitting duck in a bucket of water. Whereas in this design, an enemy army can run in and bash this gate down, and then, it's a ground attack. So, if you really want to, you could have multiple gates. But I'd rather defend our territory through force of arms, and not just because I have gates overlapping gates overlapping gates overlapping gates. And then the other thing that you're going to want to do is to fully enclose your base. Again, not blocking any roads. So I go to the nav mesh tools, I check roads, and as you can see, I currently don't block any roads. I'm getting pretty close on this angle here, but I'm not currently blocking any roads. And then surround your entire territory that you want to set up with, walls and all that. So now that I've explained that, let me focus on actually building the thing. Let's get some territory here. So I'm going to use the slopeless mod to sort of level us out. And I'm going to recess this gate pretty far back. There we are. And I'm only going to have one gate in instead of multiple gates. And I'm going to have a relatively small, sort of, lack of a better term, kill box here. I don't want a large one. And we'll bring this out. Let me hit undo a few times. We'll bring this out like this. Just a few sections at a time. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to have it not like this. I don't want micro wall sections because they are just expensive as the wider sections. So I'm carefully trying to design it so that it is the least cost. Because if you design it poorly, there's really no correcting. And then the other thing I'm really going to want to do is to make sure that my walls also dip into swampland. One of the reasons I'm settling here is that I can utilize swamp crops. So I need to make sure that... I'm going to confirm this so we set it up. I'm going to make sure that I'm not only walling up... the Shem, I'm also walling up the swamp. And my engineers will get engineering here in a minute. So I'm going to set up this initial wall and then continue it once I get this built. But in this area here, where the gate is, it is technically Shem. And then I'll have to sort of memorize where the line transfers over to swamp. Yeah, single walls tend to have very poor pathing as well. And it's another thing that can happen. So we're swamp just over here. It's very easy to tap into the swamp. So it's going to be easy for me to have this area here as like farmland that is going to be highly productive because we're technically in the swamp. So once all of these walls are built, it's also possible that we're going to have gaps in the walls. And once you have like a fully built circumference of walls, you're going to want to lock your gate and see if you can walk in and out. Because it is also possible that we're going to have spots where the walls don't fully enclose, and we'll have to break those down and rebuild them. It is fussy, and there's not much to be done about it, is all I'm going to say. It's just, it is the way it is. If you don't like it, don't build your own cities. Because I don't believe that there's a simple fix. And while they work on that, I'm going to make sure that my crafters back here are continuing to apply their trade. Because this is important as well. Can I show on the map where I'm building? Sure. I'm building... So this black line is supposed to denote the biome separation, but it's not true. I'm building right between Shem and Swamp, pretty close to the border zone. The border zone's just barely up the way. The border zone starts here. And this is a relatively safe spot. It's pretty close to the Shek. It's pretty close to the Holy Nation. It's pretty close to trade partners. It's relatively safe. It has a lot of good resources. There's a lot of good spots to build in Kenshi, though. You don't have to build here. And one of the things we're going to run into is there are dust bandits just over here where we're going to be building our walls. So we're probably going to have to clear out this dust bandit camp if we want to go any further, because they're going to attack us if we don't. Do I think I have enough mats to finish the wall? It really depends on how big we go. I really wanted to... What would this be called? Like a seniority? I really wanted to enclose this area here because I think it would be really pretty. Another thing that I want to do as I build is to think about aesthetics. And to build something aesthetically pleasing. So. You wish this ran better on your rig? I'm sorry that it doesn't. There's a lot of optimization that you can do. There's Robbie posted something on the Discord for Kenshi that sort of sets up Kenshi to run on NVIDIA graphics cards very, very, very well. And it's relatively easy to set up, and I would advise it. This is a lot of dust bandits. This is probably more dust bandits than we can take on. This looks like 30 or so at a glance. So I hope we'll be able to just build these walls unharassed, but we'll see. Are you going to see individual houses? What I'm planning on doing, at least for the first iteration, is to have a house of industry. A station house dedicated to weaponsmithing, armorsmithing, that kind of stuff. And then probably one for a barracks and galley. You know, barracks and a place to eat and a place to rest on the second floor. So individual houses, likely not, as we are more of a military, less of a society of Shek. You know, we don't have non-troops. So it's going to look more like an army base and far less like a traditional city. Purposeful housing, I suppose. And these dust bandits wisely have not messed with us, because I'm pretty sure we could kill a whole lot of them. And another thing that you should do when you're building walls and the like is save constantly. Just in case things go wrong, you can always save scum. Now, there's one other tool that you can use that I'm not going to use, but it is to remove the sort of trees and whatnot. You go to the nav mesh tools, which is Shift F12 again, by default. Go to roads and you can click foliage removal. And then once you have foliage removal clicked, you click and drag a circle on the map, and it will remove the trees and whatnot. It doesn't remove everything, but it removes a lot of the bushes and trees there. But what it wouldn't move is it wouldn't remove like the larger sort of, structures that are baked into the terrain. When you build buildings, it tends to remove trees right where the buildings are anyway. So it's relatively unnecessary to completely remove all of the trees, because if I built, like, let's say, one of the reasons why I wanted to settle here in this sort of crescent is eventually I'm going to want to build like a nice sort of throne-ish room here, and it will be attractive given the terrain. And once I throw that down, it's probably going to remove all the bushes underneath. And yes, to remove foliage, you have to quick save and then load. And upon loading, it will be disappeared. You won't see it initially. So, I don't want to demo it, because the only way to then unremove is to, like, fully quit the game and load something older than when you remove the foliage, which is really annoying to do. So, for me to demo that tool, I'd have to quit the entire game, so I won't be doing that. Before I continue this wall, let's make sure that I haven't clipped into the nav mesh roads, and I haven't. Good. So the other things to consider is the resources, like the copper and the like. So upon analyzing, I did mention that copper is going to be more important than iron. So we would have to go pretty far back to sort of wall in our copper. Let me see about this. I'm going to want at least a copper node or two. So we have one here. Let me move the prospecting results out of the way. We have one here, which is going to be easy to tap. And then I'm going to want one other. This one's kind of annoying because it's in the river. And then out this way. These are a little bit easier to surround. So I think what will happen is this wall will come back this way and then surround this little island to grab this copper. And then I'll have 2 copper nodes inside my walls. I'm not going to bother with a third, because anything more than that is a little bit too far. Okay, so let's continue these walls as best as I can. And then once the walls are done, I'll probably run out of building materials before the walls are done. But we'll head back home, grab some more building materials, and then continue. And I'm trying to maximize the amount that I can build with the largest possible wall segments. There's also other things that you can add to these walls, like ramps, and I'll show you that later. So we are headed out here, right? And you can't just drag big like this. Let me try one of those. Actually, I want to go around this route a little bit better. There. It's getting dark though. It's hard to lay these out attractively in the darkness. And then it was this one here. It's quite a space. But I would say walls are relatively inexpensive, so I don't find it much of a problem to have a large footprint. Sorry for the amount of time I'm taking. I'm just trying to do it right, so I don't have to redo it. Let's confirm that and get working. Do you think mobs will spawn inside the walls if it's that big? It's possible. So the way that works is if you look at your outpost, you can sort of move where your outpost home is, but if mobs are spawning inside, that's fine. It will likely be finite, and it will be not that hard to kill them off. Rockfin, what are you... Why aren't you, engineering? That's strange. Alright, walls coming together. Yeah, this node is iron. I don't want that. I don't care about it. I'll be having ore drills before too long. I only care about the copper. Planted for a future with more technology. And here's some swamp raptors. Swamp raptors are creatures that obviously would eat the crops in our farm fields. So that's another good way, or another good reason to fully circumnavigate your territory with walls. And we are down to maybe 7 or 8 more building materials, so we're going to be running out, and we're going to have to go back home for more. Okay, you guys done? They have used up everything now. Okay. Let's travel as a squad, and we'll head back home. So it's probably about nearly 2/3 of the walls done. So we'll look back at the Rockfin squad, make sure that they're staying productive. There's another Cat 3 blade. Awesome. And Chemo has made another white plate jacket. Drop that into the general storage. Nobody is currently hungry down here, which is good. We still have some fish left. And we have 50 building materials and climbing. So one of the things I could do is either A, upgrade the stone processor to process faster. It would require a little bit of power, but we could afford that. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is upgrade that. And have everybody down here help to upgrade it. Let's upgrade it twice, so that we process stone a lot faster. And upgrade our stone mine as well. Twice. And then Els, you are going to work to get additional iron plates from up here. Yeah. Or the building material. So this will allow me to make building materials a lot faster. Oh. Engineering squad's under attack, and I have a bunch of hungries. That might mess with me. Nope. Guess whatever was attacking us left us alone. And then Headshot can grab 2 of these building materials and also work on the getting the stone mine upgraded. Wouldn't it be better to set it up at the new place? It could be, but I already have power here, and I'm not... So, no, I sort of disagree with that. I have my labor force here, I have power here, and that's all that kind of stuff would be needed to be set up in the new base. And the new base doesn't have any buildings, it doesn't have any power, it doesn't have any storage, it doesn't have anything that you would need to be able to start up industry just yet. So, I'm going to invest here still a little bit more just to speed up the process, because we're still going to need a lot of building materials for the remaining buildings. So I feel like if I set this up in the new base rather than setting up here, we would significantly delay the ETA on the new base. I could also buy materials too, but I'd like to spend my money on science rather than on anything else. Okay, so the new stone mine is underway as well. This squad, wow, it really fell apart. You guys are supposed to stick together. What happened? You even let Glitch... They're getting very hungry too. Okay, 14 more iron plates. Fully, you got some space. Go get 6 more. Fish Piglet, thanks for the resub. Happy half a year. Yeah, Kenshi Dove definitely has a hint of, you know, Morrowind. I could see that entirely. And Silent Viewer, thanks for the sub as well. Ooh, puppy treats. Yes. Yes, indeed. Sky. There you go. More hydration for me. Alright. We're going to be somewhat out of metal plates, iron plates for a bit. Trying to get the building processor up. That's 12 more. That should be enough, right? I hope. When you're running out of food, it's every man for himself? Yeah. I guess so. Let's see if they stick together. Alright, it looks like they're sticking together as a squad now. That's good. How's the food situation? The food situation's fine. We have plenty of food at home, it's just the engineering squad ran out. But it won't be that much of an issue once we get home, because I can just have Kang run over to the hivers and buy some more fish. Alright, all iron plates have been delivered, so the rest of these iron plates are up for grabs. And the stone mine is now upgraded as well, so it's more efficient. And then the stone processor is obviously more efficient. And the engineering squad is gonna... Yep, that's done. Alright, awesome. So we have Cowley stone processing, case mining, and Kang run over to the hivers and we'll go ahead and make some money as well while we're here. Oh, we are totally under attack, which is fine. Just a bunch of starving bandits. Big Easy, thanks for the sub. Triple resubs. Or first time subs. Is one mining enough to feed the processor? No, I'll set someone else to be mining in a minute. I just have to figure out who's free. Let's see. Jacobot, we'll have you mining more stone. Alright, let's check in on... Wow, King's already here? Yep, he's fast. He is very fast. Yeah, Rockfin squad doesn't even have a Rockfin in it. I see the irony. more dried fish, and I already know the polearms blueprint. The plated drift letter stuff I don't really want. So yeah, we're good. Run that back. Alright, anyone of this group got hurt severely? Ruka, you're hungry. Why aren't you eat? Oh, because it's empty. I see. Yeah, we'll fix that. Alright, Rockvin, I didn't mean to send you over here. You're supposed to be selling the electrical components and any weapons that are lower than needed quality. And as soon as Kang is back, this squad will eat. Come on, Kang. There we go. So, everybody's eating. Any new armor? Oh, I am sure we have new armor, yes. And weapons. Alright, so that's a lot of electrical components to sell. It's like 29 of them. Chemo is... Oh yeah, machine is full. You don't even have space for armor. So we have 3 white plate jackets to dole out now. And that will go to the rest of Rockvin's squad. For now, or the engineer squad. And we're back up to 37k, which is pretty good. We've been zigzagging up and down from buying all that fish. Right, so here comes the squad members, and we'll give them armors and whatever weapons there are to give out as well. So Trustin, you're getting armored. Larry. Teal'c. Oh no, Teal'c already has armor. Giso. And then Chemo, you're going to give up your armor so that everybody in the engineer squad has chest armor. Because they're at greater risk than everybody else. Where are you guys going? I think they're all running to the food pot. What else? So we have a Cat 3 blade, which will go to Glitch. Trapper Keeper, do you have... Oh, Trapper Keeper has 2 more Cat 3 blades on him. So this will go to Trustin. And Ruka. Actually, Trustin, you switch with Rain. I think what I'll do is I'm not going to bother keeping the Cat 2s. It will just be straight to Cat 3. So I don't have to keep changing constantly. So these are all Cat 1s and 2s. Alright, Rockvin, you sell those 2. If they can afford it. And then we'll make the trip back. There was a hotkey to be able to switch... Oh, that's not what I meant to do. There's a hotkey to be able to switch between characters that I don't have bound right now, but that would be the fastest way. So, in options, in controls, you've got next character, previous character. And you can bind that to switch your characters quickly. To cycle them quickly. And that's just in the hotkeys. And then tilde, I have bound to select all, and then you can deselect from there. There's a bunch of little, like... Oh. No, go back in. Talk to the other barman. Talk to the bar woman. She's got the money. She runs the household. We know this. This is known. Okay, we're hanging around the fish barrel. Taking a look. Oh, you got... Okay, so Case here got unemployed because this new stone processor does not require 2 people to operate. So I'll have Case start to mine the iron. But we're up to 55 building materials, and we're going to make a run over with that. So let's rally the forces. So Rockfin's full, King is full, Oron's full, and then we do have some stuff left over, right? We have some empty backpacks, so we'll start to bring iron plates as well. I'm going to have Rain bring some iron plates for the weaponsmith up top, and then we'll also bring some iron plates over to start to set up processing. Keeping in mind that iron plates are a little bit heavier than building materials because they take up less space, so they can encumber a little bit faster. So we'll have to make sure not to be too slow. Come on. A little closer. Yep. Now they have plenty of materials. Now, these guys are going to run out of fabric probably quite soon, because I am not having any of the hemp being processed. So that's another thing that we could do with the engineer squad, is to shuttle some fabrics over. Some hemp, and start to get the farms up. Now, the problem with getting the farms up is I'd prefer to just put it into storage for now, because the swamp raptors are very hungry, I guess is how to put it. So we have to be careful about not letting the raptors eat everything. So I'll start to shuttle over the bulk goods as well. It's going to take up a lot of space, but without beasts of burden, obviously this is quite effortful. But we have that rule: no animals. We'll stick to it. Yeah, this takes a while. Alright, we are set to go. I don't think anyone's majorly injured. No one's starving. Yep, let's push on out. And we'll see if they can't path straight to the base without delay. And these guys are processing building materials faster than ever. I'm probably going to need to go on another fish run. Just trying to figure out who is strong. So Case is pretty strong. Callie, why do you have plates on you? I don't want to know, do I? Yep, alright. Case, it's going to be you. Don't get eaten by the big things. I'm curious what the strength is on everyone up here. Oh, there's another Cat 3 blade. Fantabulous. Okay, no one's particularly strong up here. Kind of figured that'd be the case. Tora, can you do a quick errand for me, though? I want you to sell some heart protectors. We don't need our box full of heart protectors. When do I name the new base? Once it's name-worthy. Right now, it's just some walls. It's not a base. Calling it a base would be an exaggeration. $45K though. I do like that money. And Larry, being the dolt that he is stuck. Come on, Larry. Pathfinding is not the strong point of Kenshi. Wow, that is a lot of broken mesh data, though. That's probably all of my new walls, to be honest. Big Izzy, thanks for the follow. My DJing has not been going well. Come on now. There we are. I do like the solution of being the DJ, but it is a lot of extra effort, I'll tell you that much. Huh, why isn't that mods command working? Whoa. Now I'm just a bad cameraman. Let me check. That command should have worked. Yep, I see why it's not working. Alright, fixing that now. Alright, should work now for you. Sorry, Royal Pleco. Someone in the original squad is being attacked. Oh, it's Case. That's not good, because he's in Big Thing territory. There's a Dust Bandit. Okay, of the things that could attack him, I accept Dust Bandits. Because that's hilarious. They're getting completely murder slaughtered. So, good job, bandits. Alright, so Case, I'm going to allow you to not only buy fish, but I'm going to allow you to buy a standard first aid kit, too. To heal yourself up, because you did get stabbed in the head. And, well, I'm not supposed to let that happen. Thank you for tuning in to Kenshi Shek's Conquest, which originally streamed live on Twitch November 11th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream, Rhadamant.com has my countdown timers to upcoming streams, as well as links to Twitch and Discord, and my entire video release schedule. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and everybody else that watches my content for supporting me as a content creator. I'll catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Shek,